So yes, let's see how can we solve this problem first or second. Codeforces problem C2178 contest number 2178 I think so. Yes. So let us see what does the problem states. There are n children standing in a line where the niceness of the ith child is AI. Santa is deciding which children belong on the nice list and which belong on the naughty list. And integer x is initially set to 0. Santa will perform the following operation exactly n minus 1 times. Choose the first or second child in line and remove them from the line. Now, let W be the niceness of the chosen child. If I choose the first child, add them to the nice list and add W to X. If the second child was chosen, add them to the naughty list and subtract W from X. But we don't care about the naughty list or the nice list. We just care about note that all after all operation exactly one child remains unassigned to a list. Determine the maximum possible value of x that Santa can obtain after all n minus 1 operations. I'll tell you how we can solve this problem by just taking some examples 2 comma minus 3. So the array I have given with is 2 comma minus 3. From this I have only two options. First, I'll take this or I will take this, right? I'll take the first child. If I am taking the first child, let me be clear, first child will add to x plus adding to the x. If I choose the second child, I will subtract from x. Initially the x was 0. If I choose the first child, I would get x is equal to 2. If I choose the second child, x minus, what is the second child niceness? Minus 3. Sorry. So let us write it like this. X minus of minus 3, 0 minus of minus 3 is equal to 3. From these two, the maximum is 3. Now let us take another example and understand 1, 4, 3, 4. 1, 4, 3 and then 4. One thing is I will not take one child. The one child will be unassigned, or let me take this as left or leave. Let me write it as leave, right? What element I can leave? I'll tell you. If I leave this element, if I am leaving this element, let me tell you this clearly. I am not selecting this element. Now, the first element can will always be added. Why not subtracted? I'll tell you how. I want the first element to be subtracted, the second element to be plus or whatever it might be first. A1, A2, A3 and so on AN. The first number or the first element can be added to X. Now the first element, I don't want to add it. I want to subtract it, but it is impossible. I'll tell you why and how. I'll tell you why it is impossible, right? The second child, I can get it as minus. Now, the third child, I want to get it as, plus. I'll tell you how I would do it. First, I want it as minus and I want it as plus. First, I will make this negative sign to A2, nothing but select second child, right? So I would get A1 comma A3 comma A4 and so on AN. So I have achieved the first goal. Select second child, nothing but minus A2. I'm just doing minus A2. Now I want A3 should be positive, but A1 I want it to be negative. It is impossible as I said. So A1 will be added and then A3 will be pushed back to the first element. I'll tell you how. Plus A1, then I would get it as A3 comma A4 comma A5 and so on till AN, and I will add A3. That's what our goal. A3 needs to be positive added, A2 needs to be negative, it subtracted, right? So if I add this A3, then I would get A4, A5 and so on AN. So I have come to a conclusion that first element can only be added or neglected. I'll tell you neglected or left. Let me write it as neglected or left. I'll tell you how. 1434. 1434. Let me tell you. See, uh, what is the thing which I can do so that I can neglect or left this element 1. I'm not selecting this element. How can I get it? I'll tell you how. First thing, select this element. It is the second element, right? So -4. X will be added with -4, and then what will be the array 1 comma 3 comma 4. The second element was removed. Now the second element needs to be selected. I am not selecting the first element because one should not be selected. So -3 -4 -3 is -7, of course. 1 comma 4. Now that's the array. Now -3, and then I am selecting this one. Why? Because I am not selecting 1. So -3 -4 and -4, it will be -11. X will be -11, but it's not the answer. Let's wait. So the array is left with only one element, which is left. I'll tell you. First, 1 4 3 4. What if I left this element? What if I left this element? Do you see one thing? All the elements which I have marked as left, leave or left, all the elements are added. Nothing but they are just subtracted, right? -3 and then -4, right? So subtracted. Let me write that and prove it. All the elements, all the elements after leave leave element are subtracted. Why? Because let me tell you. First, let us take this example 1, 2, -2, and then -3, and 5, and then 4, and then -1, and then 2, and then 4. Let me take this element as leave. I'm not selecting that element. Now I will tell you, instead of the first element, all the element, I can make any sign for this elements. I'll tell you how. Now, for this element, I will have a plus sign. I cannot leave it. Why? Because I have already select the leave element. Now, I want this to be plus. Why? Because +2. I want this to be minus. Why? Because minus of -2 will give me +2. So I need minus sign there, and also I need a minus sign there. Here also I need plus sign here. I'll tell you how do I get it. Now, first, I have this one, right? So I'll just remove that and get the array as 2 comma -2 comma -3 5 4 -1 2 4. Now this element is removed, nothing but +1. +1 is done. Now +2. So I have to select this +2. But if I did so, then -2, -3, 5, and so on will come. And for -2, I need to apply plus. So I don't do that. I will do first this minus. So nothing but minus of -2 is nothing but +2. So I am removing this element. I will get it as 2 -3 5 4 -1 2 4. I think you are clear now. Now this needs to be minus, so I'll take that. Minus of -3 will be +3. So the array will become like 2 5 4 -1 2 and then 4. Now I want these two elements to be plus. 2 plus 5 plus. So +2, and the array will become like 5 4 -1 2 and then 4. For 5 plus 5, and the array will become as 4 -1 2 4. If you remember, this is the element I want to leave. I just don't want to touch it. Now I said all the elements after leave element are subtracted. Let us see how. I want this instead plus here. I want a plus here. So it needs to be at the first element. To make it as the first element, I need to remove it. But the element 4, I want to store it, or I am just I'm not removing it, I'm just leaving it there itself. So if I want to leave an element, it will be in the first position and the remaining all will be in the second positions. But you might say that remove it. No, it's not possible. We are assigning the element itself as leaving element. I am not touching that element. So if that element is at the first position, I can assign any sign plus or minus to all the elements from index 1 to, if I make it as index L minus 1. From 1 to L minus 1, I can assign anything. But for the index 0, it will be always plus. Why? Because it is the first element. It cannot be subtracted, right? So it is the first element and it will be having every time plus symbol. All the elements from 1 to L minus 1 will be having plus or minus as I wish. Now, after the leave element, all will be negative sign. How? I will prove it. Now, this here is the second element. So what I'll do, I'll just make minus of minus 1, which is nothing but 1. So I am removing that element minus 1. So I'll leave left with 4, 2 and then 4. Now the second element, I need to remove the second element. So if I am removing the second element, minus 2. Now I have removed the second element 4 comma 4. Now again I want to remove the second element, then I would get minus 4 and the last element which I am left in the array is 4. I think you have understood how I am going with left or leave element, right? So how can I write the algorithm here? First, I'll be having something like suffix sum with n plus 1, nothing but the sum which I would get after leave element. After the leave element, all the elements I would get it from the last, right? So I would get it like something like for I is equal to n minus 2, I is greater than or equal to 0, I minus minus suffix sum. I think, yeah, I need this suffix sum is equal to suffix sum of I plus 1 plus array of I, right? Now what about the n minus 1? Suffix sum of n minus 1 is equal to array of n minus 1, right? So this is how I get the suffix sum. It would be something like 1 minus 2. Let's take the same element, 1 minus 1 2 minus 2 minus 3 minus 5, 1 2 minus 2 minus 3 minus 5. Let's take 1 2 minus 2 minus 3 3 5. I think 3 5 minus 1 2 minus 2 minus 3 5, 4 minus 1 2 4, 4 minus 1 2 and then 4. Now the suffix sum will be something like this: 4 and then 4 plus 2 is 6 minus 1 is 5 plus 4 is 9 plus 5 is 14 plus 14 minus 3 is 11 minus 2 is 9 plus 2 is 11 plus 1 is 12. That's the suffix sum. Now what about the next thing which I'm going to do is the answer is suffix sum of 1. Why? Why? Because this is the least thing which I can get. I'll tell you how. So first suffix sum of 1 and then let's take the sum as array of 0. Why I'm taking this array of 0? Why? Because this is the element which will be always in the first position and I'll be adding it every time. So for I is equal to 1, I is less than n and I plus plus, I'll be adding sum plus is equal to array of I, if I'm not wrong. Now, what is the answer? Answer is equal to max of answer, comma, what is the sum till here. If I am selecting an element index I as the leaving element, then this sum, what is this sum? I'll take the absolute value every time, nothing but, even if it is plus, I'll take it as plus. Even if it is minus negative value, I'll take the absolute value of minus 2, so I'd get 2, right? So sum plus is not equal to array of I, instead it would be absolute value of array of I. absolute value of array of 5. Now answer comma the sum which I have till now, minus suffix sum from the last, suffix sum of I plus 1. So that's how you solve this problem. And if you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching this video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel. So there will be this, I think there is my submission. I have also given the code link in the description. Go and check it. Thanks for watching this video.